मडुम भए ऱ्यापरहरू दुध र भात लड्छु भाइ
One minute to start a broadcast.
Great. How are you? Just about to get us started here. Just doing our regular show. Hanging out. Looking good.
It is FYRE Army Friday! Woo! Hey, thank you for checking in with your favorite host. Thank you for spending a little time with me today on your fabulous Friday, October 14th. Let's go. Let's talk about what we are getting into today. Today's broadcast is all about turning that momentum into inertia. Yes, you heard it here first. Last broadcast, we were discussing last week how to create momentum for your community. This week, we're bridging that on over and showing you the actual action steps you need to take to make that come to life. Because we often hear, hey, you need to go do this and do that, and people don't show us or tell us how. So today, we're going to bust through some of those stigmas together as a community as we explore the different ways how you, yes, you, can turn that momentum into inertia. You know how it is on FYRE Army Fridays. We're all about you, the little guy. We're all about you, helping you make your money, your coins, your bag, and getting you on your way, right? Because the little tips and tricks that it takes to make us successful is often lost. Really, it is. Because oftentimes certain creators won't give that reach back, right? And then we don't know how to follow up and do what you just did. So we're going to break through a lot of that today together and go into some of the finer details as well as to the which community, what channels, the steps, all of that good stuff. And of course, bring you a couple of those news crypto topics. You know how it is. So stick around, stay tuned. We are going live in approximately 1 minute. So I know last week when I started talking to you guys about building up that momentum in your community, a lot of things I may have said has apparently flown over a few people. So this is my way of correcting that mistake. This is my way of making sure I'm not leaving anyone behind. So again today, how to turn that momentum into inertia. What do you have of value to give to your community? How can you monetize that? And then what are the different channels you can use for it? Specifically for sales, for products, awareness, etc. As we go through that outline today, get a pen and pad. Take notes. Make sure you don't miss a beat. And even if you do, you can always watch us again here live on YouTube. You can always catch the replay in Clubhouse. Always catch those Battle Buddy tips on TikTok. Okay? Don't forget about that. But we always made sure we had a way for you to see the content even if you're not even here today, right? So don't worry, don't fret. The information is not going anywhere, but make sure you're paying attention because what we're dropping is for sure valuable. Now, I want to introduce my host. Craig hasn't said anything, but let's say hi to our moderator. Give him a round of applause, please, and get the show going. How are you doing, Wizard?
I'm doing awesome, Jade. How are you? Hopefully everything is going well. A little bit humid. Over today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because as we were talking about it this morning, we just realized, like, hey, we're all about producing content and giving it to the community about what we currently are doing, right? Or what we are currently learning, our steps. So we felt this was the perfect time with everything going on in the
Along
market.
with that, there's also some awesome things to keep in mind. Make sure that if you haven't followed us, please do follow us on Twitter. We're on Clubhouse as well. We are using our StreamYard today for the first time, more efficiently, I would say.
Yeah.
We're really into that. So it's going to be an awesome broadcast, right, Jade?
Absolutely. Thanks for that same, buddy. So let's go ahead and get into it though, all right? So how we're going to turn the momentum into an action. What creative elements are you using? Let's start there. That's question number one. Question number one from Jade. What creative elements are you using in your business? And then my follow-up question for you is, what kind of business are you, right? Are you a Web 2 business seeking to be a part of Web 3 and are wondering what tools to use, what platforms to use, what group to talk to, whose information to trust, right? Or are you already Web 2.5, as I like to say, and are seeking to solidify your project into Web 3? It's many ways you can go about it, but I mean, let's really think objectively. Like, what can you do right now today, right? And you've heard me say it here before. You can make entire series, publish books, you can make videos, NFTs. I mean, it's what do you want to do? Because at the end of the day, it's about how you want to run your business. Hey, Mustafa, I sent you up the invite to come up. Thanks for joining us today. But today we're still talking about those many options for you to expand your skill set, increase that value you have to give to your community, and how to monetize that content. Because every creator who's gone through this journey always wondered that part, right? But it's hard for us to get an accurate answer, as a lot of people are gatekeepers and they gatekeep that content and they make sure that you're not able to do what they're doing. Because some people don't feel like there's enough room in the market for all of us. It's enough room for all of us. How that person did it may not necessarily be how you do it. So just think about that when you are going out here creating your content and starting your journey. Because I mean, over time, we all learn different aspects about our business. Then we often incorporate feedback from others, how to improve our businesses, and you kind of go from there. So today and Mustafa, we're talking about what that curve looks like. So it's a good time you joined us. And we're going to talk about the time, the tools, the channels, and the many avenues that one could bring into their businesses, practices, and scale their community and businesses up to. So whether you're an NFT project or a regular corporation, it doesn't matter. These tips are for everybody. So make sure you're here and share out the room if you can.
When's the room will start?
Broadcast started about 15 minutes ago. You can catch us here Fridays at 3 Eastern Standard Time.
Great.
All right. All right. So let's go ahead and roll on into that topic. Now, let's just talk about how to assess if you have any channels, right? So,
What you said?
well, like we're saying, we first want to assess if we have any type of channels that are already ready for us to go ahead and get that content together, So it's more of like, Do you have a YouTube already? Do you have a Pinterest or something? Like, so look at your business. Huh?
You asked me or?
Oh no, we're just in the broadcast. We're just saying, yeah, how to ask yourself, like assess it in your own business, like how to say this is a channel I can use or that's a channel I have. So that's the first question we want to ask ourselves today is how to assess if you already have a channel ready for you to monetize, or how to start that process towards monetization for your different outlets. Meaning each outlet, for example, like TikTok, Amazon, Twitter, or YouTube, they all have soft requirements towards being able to monetize your content on their platform. So many of us don't know this when we start that journey, though. We don't say, like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to start my page and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get it monetized and I'm going to push my content on there, easy peasy. Except we get on the platform that we choose and then we start that journey and we find out, oh, we have to have 10,000 views, 1,000 followers, 10,000 watched hours for YouTube. So all of these different variables is what's going to make that journey for you smooth or hard. Because if you already set your sights on what channel you want to accomplish first, or with what content first, setting goals that's easy for you to achieve. Because 10,000 view hours may not be your thing. You may not have enough content to push in your mind to make 10,000 hours. Now, there's different ways you can take the same content and break it down and make up different options for having that later to say, hey, I took this 10 videos and turned it into 100. Like, those are great tactics that you can use, but that still may not hit the bar. It still may not get you to the 10,000 credit hours. So when we're talking about how to do this, we're really discussing what platform do you want to use? Because at the end of the day, that is going to outline your journey. Otherwise, if you don't know what platform you want to use, then maybe it's best to not choose a platform that has high entry barriers, like YouTube. You could start with something simple then, like Twitter or Pinterest. If that's going to be a better action plan that you can get up and running and put in place today to start making your social media marketing plan later a success. So, how are you going to achieve your goals? What do you want to do? What plan of action are you going to put in place to help make it a success? These are the follow-up questions you have to ask yourself after you've chosen a platform and a channel that you want to monetize. So these are the bottom line questions we end up with, y'all. Sorry, but that's how the cookie crumbles. But when we're starting our journey, we may not have that information to help us come up with the outline to put an action plan in place. And that's why we're here, right? It's all about FYRE Army giving you that free information, baby. So what we're going to do, we're 20 minutes into our broadcast. We're going to take us a quick break, invite some friends up to speak, get some music going, and then we're going to come back and tackle that first question. So stay tuned, and I hope you stick around. All right, everybody. Now, we're going to gonna go ahead and hit you with one of those crypto news stories of the day. We're gonna let Wizard, the Mr. Wizard of them all, Mr. Wizard of Buzz, the anchor with the mostest. He's also going to give you guys those news stories right now. And then we're going to go back into more of that outline for you guys and discuss with our friend as well if they had any questions and answer some of these questions in the back chat. So, Wizard, you are up, buddy.
That we have been in for a good 6 months at this point, 6 to 7 months at this point. As soon as things started going down is when people started looking at these things. And it's very interesting to see what will come of this and how it will affect what we have going on in here.
It's also very questionable that the favoritism is there shown. It's shown by an entity who definitely is not supposed to show any type of favoritism because their job is regulation. Remember, the Fed chair doesn't own anything. You do. If you're a tax-paying citizen. Ain't that right, Craig? But it's the fact that when it comes down to that, they are enforcers of regulations. That's their biggest job. Not to say which company they like best and which company had better practices and which company had more clients. That's a no-no. So this is something we're definitely keeping our eye on to see how it's addressed. And then it's also curious that it's happening when it has something to do with crypto. It always wraps up to crypto somewhere in the back channel. It's interesting because they do things like this to gatekeep people from coming into those sectors and industries, but don't want to acknowledge it in the daytime when we've written petitions and asked for answers. So yeah, these are things you pay attention to, and a crypto news story that is worth your time for sure, because how it plays out is also going to dictate the future in certain areas or sectors. So pay attention, because the choices that made today affect tomorrow, and those are facts from the FYRE News team. Now, let's get back into that wonderful outline that we've been going over today, right? So, let's tackle that first question. What platform am I going to use? Right? That's question number one. What platform do you want to use? Say to yourself out loud, what platform am I going to use? You have so many options. It's crazy. You have so many options these days, for real. Seriously, it's wild. But let's talk about a few of the most popular ones, and then we'll just kind of go from there and assess the situation as a whole, shall we? So you have Pinterest. People don't often forget about Pinterest because when they hear Pinterest, they just think moms and they just think boards of different creative ideas, right? But those boards have made money. Did you know that some of the top interior designers have literally paid people for their Pinterest pages because of how they had it organized? They had it organized per aesthetic, per color, per this, per that, per material. Never in your mind did you think your downtown hobby is sellable. You didn't sit here and say, I wonder if all those boards I made on Pinterest, if any of them are any good to actually monetize that content. I bet in 1,000 years you never thought of it, but there is a way to do that. There are people who have done it. I'm one of those people who've never considered that. Trust me, if I knew I could have made money from my Pinterest, I would have kept my followers going when I had them. I used to have over 400 views a month just from me liking stuff and reposting it in my nice little categories. But me, Victoria, the real estate agent, the now realtor in real life. I used to organize what that looked like for my potential clients that didn't exist in my Pinterest. I used to put their living rooms together so they had options. Oh, well, don't think about it being too small. Think about it being cozy. You could do this to brighten up the room. You could put a mirror here to open up the room. You could put down a rug to give you a little accent. I practiced for years with those Pinterest boards, but never did I think that I could sell that board to an interior designer, another realtor, architecture, someone who does this for, like, maybe I had a page full of different builds, right? Architecture builds, architecture types. Never thought about it. But Pinterest is an outlet. So the same way that I just gave you guys all of those ideas, go look it up. Look it up. Find creators. Find projects. Look and see what they did. Look and see what they did that worked. Because I'm telling you, the way that I just saw it happen work. And that's from my experience set. But that doesn't mean you can't figure out something better to do as well. So Pinterest is our number one. LinkedIn will be number two. Of course, you hear LinkedIn and you're not thinking about anything that's not corporate boring. But LinkedIn comes with all the pizzazz and the jazz, baby, let me tell you. The way LinkedIn analytics works, and you know a person who knows a guy, I know a guy who knows a guy. Your connections are more vast than you think. Because you may be the first connector in one network and third in someone else's network, and that person in that network works for Disney. Oh man, I always wanted to work for Disney. Well, there's your connection. It's right there on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn really is good for the connectivity portion of networking. You can't get a stronger networking tool or platform than that, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Of course, I'm not a professional. It's not up for me to say. It's up to you. You do your own research. But network is definitely the bee's knees when you want to have that bridge into corporate areas and other industries from your side. And then LinkedIn is your gateway. And LinkedIn offers so many different tools. You can go live on LinkedIn. You can publish blogs on LinkedIn. So what if you were a person who just had a corporate opinion about how corporate structure could be better and they're doing everything wrong every day? Great. Tell it to me in the form of a blog, though, on LinkedIn. So eventually you can monetize. That's all I'm saying. So think about LinkedIn as another alternative, or look more into it today. Look at all of their tools, explore all of their apps, and the different functionality that they bring before you say no. Now, let's go on to one of the trending ones, right? Let's talk about TikTok. Oh, Wizard, you're all about this TikTok conversation right now. What do you think some of the best perks an average creator, people like us, can do with TikTok, or how they can use TikTok to go ahead and monetize their content?
That's a great one, Jade. Get your mic really quick there. And yeah, TikTok is huge. It is enormously useful and very, very beneficial with what we have going on right now. And one of the things that I'm very excited about is the ability to go live. And we're actually streaming right now on our live. We'll be downloading the video and have access to that later. And that's one of the things that we'll be using with our FYRE Army social TikTok account as well. And one of the things that's great is that there is so much room for education and being able to learn new things on TikTok. And I truly hope that that's the way that it goes more than just a place for time wasting, if you will. It's not only time wasting. You folks know what I mean, but I mean, I get stuck in the scrolling. I mean, I'm not even a TikToker. I'll be honest. I'm never gonna use TikTok. Here I am. Okay, and what really turned me on to that idea was that Steve Ryan online. He's one of the few people that I work with and really like a mentor to me, and basically showed me the benefits of being able to put out important and useful content, not just all the look at stuff. I mean, you're not going to come to my page to look at me, but I do appreciate that you plug in and that we learn and grow together in the Web3 space, and that's where the biggest benefit really, really comes in.
I absolutely 1,000% agree with that in every way, because we watched everyone flock to TikTok during COVID. We watched it. We watched it happen. We watched a product that had already been sitting there in place, already existed, come to life. Walk and breathe and talk. That's what we saw. So we can't say TikTok doesn't work. It's how you use it. It is 100% how you use it. And the big thing about TikTok is the algorithms. So if you're a person who does marketing or analytics, those algorithms are going to be your best friend. But TikTok at the end of the day has so many different challenges. It seems to respond best with videos between 7 and 14 seconds in some seasons, and videos that are 14 seconds to 30 seconds in others. So pay attention to what's trending. Doesn't mean do everything everyone else is doing. It just means pay attention so you know when to time your product right. Because those hashtags matter. The algorithm matters. If you know how to use it, you know how to get exposure. Then it means you know how to funnel people back to your business for your purpose. So learning TikTok is really a tool that you could just sit on YouTube for an hour and get some tips. Find a creator on there, learn. But more importantly, go find their docs. TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn All of these places have documents. It tells you how to use their platform for social media purposes or to grow your business. I even have some of those docs right now posted in our Discord. They've been in there. They've been there for 6-8 months. It doesn't matter. They're in there. You want free docs? Come in the FYRE ARMY Discord. You're going to find the free docs. It's going to show you all the stuff directly from Twitter, directly from these big guys. And the reason I'm telling you is because if you have the information, you'll do it. You will do it if you have the information. You'll do it if you can go and see a video. You'll do it if you can ask somebody for support. Right. So that's why FYRE ARMY is saying, hey, come here, get the content, get the info, let's go. Now, on to those other platforms. Clubhouse is one of those other platforms. Clubhouse is used to make your own rooms, your own houses. A lot of mental health projects have spawned up on there, and so have NFT projects as well. So I think using Clubhouse for a part of your company's or business's utility or social media, community outreach purposes is definitely something to look into. And then Twitter. We all know it's just Twitter. And then there's Patreon, which we know a lot of fundraising and seed funds happen on Patreon. And you can monetize a lot of content on Patreon and sell it in tiers, sell different memberships. Then there's Streamlabs. Now, Streamlabs is good if you're a gamer. If you're a gamer or you're a person who consistently has a community already, let's say you have a community with 100 people you talk to, you give therapy or you do tech advice, right? Streamlabs would be good for you because over time, they have different affiliates that are already plugged in who you can get sponsored with. A lot of people I know makes money through Streamlabs, and it does not take as long as it does to make money through Streamlabs as it did for those same people to do it on YouTube. And these are people that grew their channels one by one. They didn't do like me and say, hey, I'm going to do these 3 and I'm going to do them all at one time. Nope, they didn't do them all one by one. But it's all about what works for you at the end of the day. And then, of course, you have Facebook Live in particular. Now, you can sell all types of products on Facebook Live. You can really webhook the crap out of Facebook Live too. So if I were you, I would think a little bit more and look at those recommendations, qualifications for Facebook Live and for the streaming. But I definitely know that when it comes to Facebook Live, they like to have a stream assistant, quote unquote, like Streamlabs, running through a key for you to be able to stream on Facebook Live. So make sure you do that Facebook University tutorials, right? Get all that good info if that's what you decide you want to do. Check out those resources before you start. And then there's Instagram. Now, Instagram has its regular Instagram, and then it's Instagram Business. Instagram Business requires a certain amount of people on your page. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 2.2K. You had to have over 2,200 people before you could have an Instagram business. Now, that was 2 years ago. I'm not sure where it stands right now, but again, each one of these I'm listing, you just want to look up what the requirements are for that thing you're trying to activate within that platform or community. So if you want to go stream on Instagram, see what that takes. If you want to go start your business on Instagram and get a business store on Instagram so you can actively sell on Instagram, see what those requirements are. Then there's Discord. People use Discord. It's amazing, especially streamers and gamers. Now, the different ways you can use Discord are tremendous. Because we all know that we can game together, we can listen to music together, we can play activities and games together now in Discord. So it's really up to what you want to use that for in your community. And then, of course, there's Deso, which comes with Diamond app. Now, the Deso chain has its own decentralized social media app called Diamond app. That's where a majority of the FYRE Army is located, and we believe in that ecosystem. So, of course, we like to share about it when we can. But if you don't know anything about Deso, then I definitely encourage you to watch one of our videos on YouTube or to go on the Deso and learn more about that chain as it stands and where they're headed. They have a great roadmap, and it's a project that is so scalable for all of these community members. It's nuts. But check it out. It truly is a decentralized social media app that pays you when you post. Can you say that? Other people don't pay you when you post stuff. So yeah. I love Deso about that, and their creators are just one of a kind over there, so check them out. Then there's Reddit. You hear Reddit, you don't think NFTs. But there was a large NFT community over on Reddit. And I would suggest you look into it and see if there's any communities that align with you as well, especially from Web3, because the amount of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, NFT marketplaces, people that are over there, it's oh man, it's for my count of looking recently, I think I ran into about 4.7 million. It's about 4.7 million. That's a lot of users. That's a lot of users that's in the dark that's not on public platforms that you prefer. So give Reddit a shot and check it out. Now, these last few, I'm going to discuss a little bit more in detail. And then I'm going to just run these down real quick before we go through commercial break, though. Snapchat and WhatsApp. Snapchat and WhatsApp is coming. The reason I want to mention that is because Facebook has it incorporated into their website now where they didn't have that before. There was never a WhatsApp button. Now that's straight on Facebook pages. I saw it today when I went on my Facebook realtor site, on my realtor page. It was on there. Gave me that option. I'm like, no, I don't want that. But it's there. So when I am ready to move forward with that with my business, I can just activate that directly on Facebook and people can contact me through WhatsApp, through the Facebook Messenger. Sweet. Now, this last one I'm going to talk about before we go take us a quick commercial break is Telegram. I'm recommending Telegram. I'm recommending Telegram for multiple reasons. It's international. A lot of developers and projects use them, and corporations too. You'd be surprised. But Telegram is a nice support channel for any type of things you got going on with your project, honestly. And it's a way to make sure you're internationally connected outside of Discord, because a lot of countries don't have WhatsApp and Discord and things like that activated. But Telegram tends to be there. So Telegram is one of those international tools I'm recommending to you that you check out and you could download and get started today. Now, we're going into a nice little commercial break, right? We're going to get some water, come back with that last topic, that community you might want to check into, and then we'll be back in 15 minutes. It'll be the end of the broadcast. It's going so quickly. But I'm glad you're here. Make sure you too grab a snack, grab a water, grab a pen and paper, because the information you're going to get is priceless. Stay tuned. Down. I bet you never thought there was there many platforms that just there, right? That you could use right now for free, get going. Yeah, but it is. It's about how you're using it. So I'm going to talk about the last one before we move on. The last social media or business platform that you need to have in your arsenal is Google Business, guys. You need Google Business. Go on Google Business, put in your details, start a page, claim your website URL, and you are visible. You're visible to all of the internet straight on Google. That algorithm on Google will pick you up too. Anytime someone types in those words that's similarly aligned with what your business offers, Google will pick that up. Now that you know about all the platforms, do you need them all? Are you a conglomerate? If so, then yes, you might need them all. But 9 times out of 10, though, you don't. The reality for all is that you only need one thing to start a floodgate. You only need one flood. You only need one channel. You just need one channel that works for you and that works the hardest, that you can work the hardest on, and that could bring you the most fruit, if nourished right. Put it that way. Yeah. Did you give it fertilizer? You know, so I'm not saying everyone has a green thumb, but the principle is the same. If you want to grow it and you want it to bear fruit, you have to nourish it. The social media boom made it all seem easy, though. Everyone was popping up as an influencer, living this digital nomad life, and we just couldn't figure it out. How they did what they did, or better yet, how you could too. Then the information was barricaded. We had to pay a masterclass guy and gal to get this information. Information that never really worked. Not unless you spent more money for more information. So FYRE Army made sure to break down that cycle. We're here live talking to you today on FYRE Army Fridays. Woohoo! But we're taking the time to educate you so that you don't start off with bad practices. You start off with good, healthy practices and a foundation. So now that we've talked about the platforms, which one are you going to choose? What are the requirements? After you read them, what is the action plan needed to execute it? Now, I don't want to brag, but I told you, I already posted those free social media calendars in our Discord. Make sure you sign up there. I've also posted the Twitter guides in there and the other forms too. But all of it's free all the time, of course. Like it's never been like a thing of, hey, I'm going to charge for this. No, it's free because I don't want to be a gatekeeper of that content. You know why? Just because you have the information doesn't mean you know how to apply it. Those are facts. But this is why I want to help you right now, today, starting today, on how to apply it. So come here, you learn the information from us, you leave here, and then you're going to apply the information. Sir, I don't want to just talk about it, but be about it. And I want you to be about it too. Now, we have a few minutes left in our broadcast here today, about 10. So we'll take a break here. I'm going to let Wizard hit us up with that other news story he's got for us before we finish everything out with those last closing remarks on how you can apply and put that action plan in place today. Wizard?
Sure thing. Thanks so much for some great information.
slightly up from their all-time low that they had in June. So it'll be interesting to see what they plan to do and how they move forward using Tron as their official blockchain for the Commonwealth of Dominica. And
But watching these countries and nations choosing which blockchain to adopt nationally for their country is interesting and remarkable. And it's also the first. So you're part of history with that. Remember that. So let's go back into those questions we had earlier, right? Our YouTube is there to help educate you. In case you missed it, in case you missed this podcast cast today, our YouTube is there with everything, right? Recorded on it. So I'm using this as an illustration to help you guys out. What we were talking about before we went to that news story and commercial was how to apply the information. So our YouTube is there to educate you. The podcast will be loaded up on there. The point is that all of that free information is on there so I can monetize it later. You get the information for free. I made it for free. So this way I don't have to charge you for content and information like the other people. Because they are going to charge you. I don't. They're charging you because somewhere in their model they did something backwards. Or they're charging you because somewhere in their model they have to do that to get their model up and running. But then there's a third option, which is what I did. I made the content, I put it out for free, and give it away for free. And every click counts. Why? It's because that's leading me towards monetizing that channel, which is my goal. And I can be transparent about that goal. I can be real about that goal because that goal doesn't cost you. It may cost you your time. I'm asking you for 30 seconds of your time, but it doesn't actively cost you anything. So I do it this way. I get to monetize YouTube. And then the FYRE Army has the Battle Buddy tips too, just for that very reason. We have a YouTube for this reason. Your viewing helps us. The information helps you and the person next to you. All of that happened for free. The content was free. The creation was free. The posting was free. I only ask you for 30 seconds of your time to look at the snackable content so you can learn a new skill. That's the trade-off. You get a new skill. I get your 30 seconds. You get information. I get your 30 seconds. You get a new methodology or model. I get 30 seconds. This is why I chose to build my community that way. And FYRE Army is building its community the way that we decided, which that's the best way. Because we made sure that we are always able to give back to you guys. We're always able to give back, period. And you could do exactly the same and publish the content in many forms, such as books, PDFs, and videos. So now I've brought you back full circle, like the Matrix. It's time to talk about, seriously, how to get that first step done. Okay, so we've tackled all that. Let's get on to the last question. What are you using the channel for? What are you building awareness for? Are you selling shoes? You selling tea? Selling books? Those little different variables do make a difference. So, for example, you have Shopify, Etsy, WooCommerce, and Square. Which one are you using to sell your products and build your business on? Do you want to build through Facebook, Pinterest? See, thinking about what you might need down the road is also going to help you make a good choice now. So here's our action plan part. I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to write down on that piece of paper 2 major things. Headline topic number 1. What does your 1 to 3 year journey look like for your business? Address that first. Because if you don't address that first, you're not able to handle and tackle headline number 2. So headline topic number 2. After you've written down what that 1 to 3 year journey looks like for your business and what parts of those you can do for free, after you write that down and you decide what parts you could do for free, then you write out your 30-day agenda and work on it one issue at a time. Now, I know it sounds crazy. I know you're thinking, I did all this and listened to all that just to get that. Yeah, because sometimes you need that gentle reminder. Yeah. I need you to write your 1 to 3 years on paper for your business. And I need you to write, after you decide that, what your first 30 days looks like towards completing those goals you just wrote down. Because they're your dreams. It is your action plan. It's your steps. It's your journey. It's how you want to do it. No one else can decide what that is besides you. You have to be able to do that on your own. If you don't, then other people will always make decisions for you about your business, your product, your thing, your baby. So make sure you can speak up. Make sure you are able to answer any question for every area of your business because you built it that well. You built it that well because you took Jade's and Wizard's advice and you wrote down a 1 to 3 year action plan for your business. And then after you did that, you figured out what parts you could do for free and which parts needed money. And after you did that, you figured out what your first 30 days were going to look like. Your first few baby steps. That is the beginning road to success. Because with that comes time management, with that comes commitment, with that comes routine, with that comes order, with that comes you building, with that comes you creating, because you are the innovator, the creator, the leader in Web3. And I thank you for listening to me today and for joining us. Make sure you follow us on LinkedIn /company/FYRE Army. Make sure you follow us on Twitter @FYRE Army, FYRE_Army. And make sure you follow us on our, all of our channels, man. They're everywhere. On TikTok, we're at FYRE Army. Follow us on Medium at FYRE Army. Follow us on YouTube. No, it doesn't say FYRE Army yet because I'm still trying to monetize the channel. But after I get 10,000 credit viewer hours, it'll say FYRE Army. But you know the point. Make sure to watch our Battle Buddy tips on TikTok. Our Battle Buddy tips are also listed on YouTube, on LinkedIn. And we even have our Pinterest up and ready now. So yeah, it's coming. It's there for you. All these awesome channels are going to be there for you because on each channel, we're going to make sure to post tips for that channel so that you can have all the tools you need to succeed. And I thank you guys. This is Jade and Wizard signing out. We love ya. Happy Friday.
A lot of people say they listen to a little bit of everything, but you actually do.